Today we're going to talk about the XREAL Pro 1 glasses. They're actually really good. The hardware feels nice and solid. They have a good feel to them. They're actually really comfortable on my face. The resolution and the crispness and everything is actually really good. They feel very immersive. Yet, I still kind of have a hard time recommending them if your life is kind of like mine. Part of that is the price. They're nice and they work really well, but I don't think the price quite matches the experience. I think you're paying too much for the experience you're getting. And also another thing that I'm not really a fan of, or that doesn't work for me, I should say, is one of their biggest strengths, and that's actually the immersion. Doesn't quite work for me, and we're gonna find out exactly why. As usual, this isn't gonna be a straight up review of something, the actual product and actually using it. The idea of the glasses sounded perfect for me for handheld gaming. I can get a large screen, full immersion. I also thought they would fit naturally in how I use a handheld gaming device. However, most of the time, I'm not in a 3 to 4 hour gaming session. I tend to pick up my handheld, especially in a gaming device, 30-minute, 45-minute, an hour. Another big thing for me seemed like we do travel a lot, and these would be really great on a plane. You could put them on, have the big screen in front of you. The speakers behind the ears are really nice, even if you don't have headphones or you don't want to wear headphones. They do work really good. I can hear the sound really nicely without bothering everybody else around me. And technically they do deliver all that as an experience. So they do what they were intended to do and what I want them to do, yet they don't work somehow still. A couple of things I do like about it, like I said, they do feel good quality. The arms are really nice the way they fold out. You know, they come, of course, they come with a cleaning cloth. They actually fit. I don't wear glasses, sunglasses very often, except in the car. I'm not wearing glasses. So, and they are a bit heavy. They fit naturally and they do feel rather nice. They're pretty comfortable to wear. I mean, I can wear them for quite a while and not feel like they're hurting anything. The resolution, the screen is big. You can adjust it. They're easy to use. With my iPhone and with the ROG Xbox Ally X, they just plug straight in and come on like a second monitor. When I do put them on and use them, it's genuinely a good experience. I do enjoy it. Price is one of the bigger problems. I got these on sale and they were right around $500, $520. So just because it's a good product doesn't automatically mean it justifies the price. If they were a little bit cheaper, then I could justify dealing with some of the things that I don't really enjoy about them. But for the price, I'm not really sure that I can justify spending that money again. I'm not really upset that I got them, but if I had to buy them again, like if I could return these at full price and get my money back, I would probably take that option. Or if I had to do it all over again, knowing what I know, I probably would not buy them. And one of those reasons is actually the biggest thing about these. So these things are great about immersion. Puts the big screen around you. Like I said, with headphones, it definitely locks you in. Even without headphones, there's little speakers back here that go right by your ears. And they actually sound really good. I can have the volume up pretty loud. I've had my wife sitting next to me and I've asked her before she can hear it. If I have them up like all the way, she said you can hear a little bit, but it's not really loud. So if there's any other noise around in the room, somebody else wouldn't be able to hear it. You can hear it pretty clear, so you don't even really need headphones, especially if you're by yourself. Everything works great. The immersion is really nice, and that actually becomes one of the problems. So one of the big things I thought these would be absolutely amazing at is we do travel a lot, and some of our plane rides can go a few hours. So I gave my Steam Deck to Aaron. He's playing on the Steam Deck and I'm using these glasses. I've got I've got my Ally X there and we're kind of gaming side by side. Well, anybody that has a small child or a child in general knows that just because they're doing something, if you're next to them, you're not going to be left alone. And that immersion kind of is taken away at the same time. I don't want to say taken away because it makes it sound like Aaron's a burden, which he's obviously not. He'll be gaming and he needs help constantly, or he wants to show me something, or he wants to ask me a question. He's just being a kid and I'm dad. So I'm sitting next to him and I'm constantly taking the glasses off. You know, if you've just got the handheld, it's really easy to hit pause and just look over, see it. Or, you know, if you're not doing something that requires you to pause, you can just look over. But with the glasses, oftentimes he feels like I might be ignoring him because I might not hear him right away. He's got to tap me or whatever, and I don't want to make him feel like that. And then I got to pause, I got to take the glasses off. With the cord running behind your ear, it's a little bit more difficult. And then outside of travel, it's not difficult. And I don't want to sound like I'm complaining like I'm too lazy to do something. Fellow dads will understand. I don't get a lot of time to game. So when I do game, I really like, that's one thing I liked about the handheld. And if you watched my Ally X video, I described that was one of the things I love the most and why I even mentioned these, because I mentioned the screen being sufficient. I like to pick up my handheld and play for 30 minutes. You know, one of the examples I used, Aaron has soccer practice or karate practice. I'm waiting in the car. I can pick it up for 30 minutes. If I've got to dig out multiple devices and set things up, now I feel like it kind of takes away from that ease of just having 30 minutes to game in the car. I can just unzip the Ally X, turn it on, start gaming, turn it back off, you know, put it in its case, good to go. Not to say that this is difficult, you're just adding a layer of friction, and nowadays I value my time more than I value anything else. So you do have a really nice case, and it's, like I said, it's not difficult, but you gotta take them out, you gotta put them on. But before you put them on, you gotta make sure you take the cord and you plug it in the device, put them on. Again, not difficult, I'm not complaining, I'm not lazy, it's just that I don't have a lot of time and I like things with less friction. So if I'm at home, laying on the couch or in the chair, then it is really nice to use. However, at that point, if I'm doing extra steps to get ready to game or whatnot, then I might as well just put it on the TV. I might as well just dock it. I might as well just come to my computer and use that instead. Kind of takes away from the whole pick up the game, hit the power button and start playing. I can definitely see this being a great product for the right person. I think it's a great product. It just doesn't work for me. So I just want to tell you guys some of those things that I do and don't like, and you can make that decision based off of it. Again, I'm not going over the hardware, not going over battery life. Well, there's no battery in this. You know, I'm not going over all the specs that a million other YouTubers have already covered. I'm just giving you it from a dad perspective and see if you guys can have it fit in your life. One of the recommendations, if you decide that it does fit in your life, really actually measure your face and look at the measurements that they have on there. And then once you get them and put them on, play with the settings a little bit, because I found that different things you can adjust. It's kind of like the distance. They call it the distance. The screen is from your face, and it kind of makes the screen bigger or smaller. My first thought was to have the screen as big as possible, covering edge to edge, which is great if you're watching a movie or if you're in a game that doesn't need to do anything. Anytime you have a UI at the top or bottom though, or if there's any subtitles that you want to read, some of the very edges can be a little more difficult to see. So you shrink it down and it puts it more centered. It seems to work better for me. But the biggest thing is really make sure that you're measuring your face and getting the right size, because they do have right sizes of these. I was lucky enough to get it on the first go, so just make sure that works for you.